In this video, I would like to talk about this blog post that we shared today with our OpenSci, where I talk about a couple of Git tricks to work with large repositories. And this is something that may come handy precisely when you work with a blog post or a blog repository that has been maturing for years and has therefore a great number of images, of posts. So the repository is heavy to download and also difficult to navigate and find what you want inside it. So a usual clone, like cloning the whole thing as you would normally do, might not be what you want because it can take quite a bit some time, and then you would end up with a lot of stuff that is not exactly what you want to work with. So here I have a folder where I have two subfolders. The one that is called full contains the OpenSci's blog in full. So if I do a tree here, you can see that there is a lot of files, a lot of JPEGs, and all of that takes time to download and it's hard to navigate. So the idea now is to do a sparse checkout and a shallow clone to get just the files that we want. So here I have nothing yet, and the files that I wanted to download were files about basically my photos. I want to upload different or update the profile photos that I have. So first I searched for Mauro Lepore. I think it was a JPEG. There you go. So here is the file, and then you can see if I go to the folder and search for Mauro Lepore, you can see that there is two actually files that have my name and then an extension. So I was interested in searching for basically this path here plus Mauro-Lepore and then whatever else. So that's why you're gonna see that in a moment when I do a sparse checkout. So this is the path that I wanted to get. So everything that is under themes, OpenSci, static, IMG, team, Mauro, asterisk, or Mauro Lepore asterisk. Like there's no other Mauro, so that alone would do. So, but let's go step by step. So first, for this sparse checkout, I want to first fork the repo into my user account. So the repo I was showing you here lives under the OpenSci account. So the first thing I wanted to do is to fork it. So you can simply use GitHub for that. You can go to the main repo and just click here on fork. I did it from the terminal because I do like the GHCLI. Do I have it here? Yeah. So if I run this, GitHub will tell me that I already have the fork, because I do. And I do not want to clone it because if I say yes here, I will get the whole repo. And I do not want that. What I want to do is to initialize a repository empty, as I show here first, then change directory to that repository, and then create the remote origin pointing to my fork. And then we're going to be configuring a sparse checkout, which I'm going to explain in a moment. So for now, let's do just this. So basically, initialize the repository, change directory into it, and then add the remote. So if you wonder where the remote comes from, you can always find it in the. So here we're going to do let's go to my account. You can always find it here in code. You go to the SSH little tab, and there is where you find it, right? But the format is always the same, so you might learn it fairly quickly. So let's paste all of that from the post. With this, we are already into the repo, but if I do an ls, you see that it's empty. We only have, if I do an ls with -a, we should see the .git folder, which defines the repository because we have initialized it already, right? So the next thing we're going to do is set up that sparse checkout. So first we need to change the configuration file for Git to say that we want to do sparse checkouts. So we're going to paste that. So git config core.sparse checkout true. And then we're going to be writing a file. So with this greater than, we're going to be adding this text into this file. So echo is going to print this to the console unless we redirect that somewhere else, and we are redirecting it to a file that is called, sparse checkout inside the .git/info. So we do not have the file yet, so you can show you the tree of .git info. So you see that the directory exists and there is another file there, but not the one that we are about to create. So let's copy the whole thing. So in this case, remember, where did I get this path? I got it from my exploration here of go to file. So if I go to file and put it JPEG, this is the path that I'm using right now. So we're gonna paste that there. And with that, we have set up the sparse checkout. So we can confirm that with .git info sparse checkout. So now the file exists, and if I look into the contents of that file, that file only has one line of text that has that path that I copied from GitHub. So now the next thing we need to do is just to do a git pull. But in this particular case, I want to do a shallow pull where we get only the latest commits, so that we minimize the amount of data that we need to transfer over the internet. So let's copy just that. So it's the git pull as you would normally do, with from the remote, pointing to the remote origin and the branch main. But we add the minus depth equals 1 flag to say that we only want those latest revisions on the Git repo. So this is downloading, and actually, I was surprised at the time, and I'm kind of still not quite sure why, but I was surprised that this still takes quite some time. To download a couple of images, I was expecting it to be faster, but it looks like there is still a lot of metadata maybe involved in the process. I don't know, but at least we do gain a little bit of speed and a huge advantage in navigation ability, because as you're gonna see in a moment, navigating this repo that is only what we want is much easier. So if I do a tree here, my experience is great, right? So I already see specifically the files that I want to change, and I don't get lost in the great amount of stuff that the blog has accumulated over the years. So so that's that. That's the result that I wanted to see, and the actual repository, when I clone it, I confirmed that it was with this usage. You can check the size of a folder. Here again, saying in this case a depth 1 to not do it recursively, and you can see the whole blog is pretty heavy, 1.3 gigabytes. That's substantial. Actually, for curiosity, I could copy this and paste it here. Let's see how much stuff do we have now. Okay, so 336 megabytes. It's still a lot more than those two images that I downloaded, for sure. So there's a lot of metadata, surely, that is involved here that is not so obvious. But in any case, I hope that that's helpful. Again, when you, maybe not always, but in cases when you're working with really big repos, and you only need to work with a couple of files, this may come handy. And if you do enjoy videos, I do, you can also see my YouTube channel, where I have a lot of stuff about Git and other things. All right, thank you, and I hope that you find this helpful.